Good morning. Welcome to Planet Chaos. I'm your host, Brandyn Chaos. With me, as always, is Ed Giggity.
Giggity, giggity.
Got a lot of topics to get to today, man.
Busy week.
It's always a busy week. That's been the thing lately, though.
It's off and on. Last week was kind of low.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably, I don't know, maybe once a week do a show entirely dedicated to stupid shit that the president does or says.
They already have that. It's called The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He does it daily.
There's a lot of shows that are like that. Did you see, he was on Fox News the other day with, what's his name? Chris Hansen? Is that his name? No, that's
Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen's the pedophile guy.
Yeah.
Chris Wallace. Did you see that?
The only thing I saw him with the interview with that girl. What he said, I didn't know about Chris Wallace. What did he say to Chris Wallace?
Chris Wallace called him on a lie that he told, and he threw a temper tantrum about it. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh man, yeah, I can't remember what it was. It was something about either Obama or Hillary, I believe. I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up real quick, see if I could find it.
Yeah. I did see where he was getting interviewed by that lady, and she was talking about black people getting killed by police. He's like, "What a horrible question! White people get killed by the police. In fact, more white people get killed by the police."
Yeah,
but that's still not defending it. It's still saying that your police is out killing people.
Yeah.
It's like, no, Lauren, the window didn't get broken. It's just differently pieced.
Let's see if this is... this is 4 minutes long, but...
You've now got amazing cell coverage.
Oh, and there's a fucking ad. Yeah, I fucking hate this YouTube ad bullshit. These companies are getting free advertising on my show.
I didn't even hear it, so should be alright.
They don't test. They don't test like we test.
Is it possible that they don't have the virus as badly as we do?
No, it's possible that they don't test. That's what's possible. We find cases, and many of those cases heal automatically. We're finding, in a way, we're creating trouble.
People say this is because we don't have a national plan. You talk about states. We don't have a national plan. Do you take responsibility for that?
Look, I take responsibility always for everything because it's ultimately my job, too. I have to get everybody in line. Some governors have done well. Some governors have done poorly. But we have more tests by far than any country in the world.
But, sir, testing is up 37%.
That's good.
I understand. Cases are up 194%. It isn't just that testing has gone up, it's that the virus has spread. The positivity rate has increased.
Many
the
of
virus
those
is
cases,
worse than it was.
Many of those cases are young people that would heal in a day. They have the sniffles, and we put it down as a test. The coronavirus, I think that at some point that's going to sort of just disappear, I hope. I'll be right eventually. Say this.
He said I'll be right eventually.
People have to go to school. And there's problems when you don't go to school, too. And there's going to be a funding problem because we're not going to fund, when they don't open their schools, we're not going to fund them.
What the federal government gives is 8%.
10%, and you know what? That's a lot of money.
And you're going to take them, you know where the money goes? It goes overwhelmingly to disadvantaged kids and children with disabilities.
Let the schools...
Why wouldn't you send more money so the schools would be safer?
Let the schools open.
And will you consider a national mandate that people need to wear masks?
No, I want people to have a certain freedom, and I don't believe in that, no. And I don't agree with the statement that if everybody wear a mask, everything disappears.
Is the Confederate flag offensive?
It depends on who you're talking about, when you're talking about. When people proudly had their Confederate flags, they're not talking about racism. They love their flag. It represents the South. It's freedom of speech.
So you're not
this fucking guy.
Well, I'm not offended either by Black Lives Matter. That's freedom of speech. And you know, the whole thing with cancel culture, we can't cancel our whole history.
You said our children are taught in school to hate our country. Where do you see that?
I just look at school. I watch. I read. Look at the stuff.
He reads.
Now
yeah,
they
okay.
change 1492 Columbus discovered America. You know, we grew up, you grew up, we all did. That's what we learned. Now they want to make it the 1619 Project. Where did that come from? What does it represent? I don't even know. So
slavery.
That's what they're saying, but they don't even know. They just want to make a change. And Biden wants to fund it.
Sir, he does not.
Look,
this is the part.
He signed a charter with Bernie Sanders. I will get that one, just like I was right on the mortality rate. Did you read the charter that he agreed to?
It says nothing about defunding the
Oh,
police.
really? It says abolish. It says let's go.
All right.
Get me the charter, please.
All right. I understand. More than 100.
That was the part.
Dude, you don't tell that dude's on a game.
Oh man. Yeah.
Like Chris Wallace, like if he told me that the sky is purple, I'd really consider the sky would be purple. Maybe I'm fucking wrong. Maybe I thought maybe it's a light purple. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't fucking argue with that guy. He's a professional. He's been doing it for years.
And
I can't even unpack all the bullshit I just heard.
yeah, and that's the video I pulled up was basically a summary of the whole 40.
I was gonna say because those were pretty rapid fire.
Yeah, no, that was the Washington. It was from the Washington Post YouTube channel. It said Trump's Chris Wallace interview in 4 minutes. That's basically everything you need to know in 4 minutes.
I don't see how you could support that guy after really?
Yeah, and it's like I said before.
Who is telling him it's okay to do these interviews too? Like, why don't you be like, look, dude, you're not good at interviews. You're not good at shooting off the cuff. He's
a narcissist. Any opportunity that he has to sit down with somebody and talk about himself, he's gonna take it. If CNN or MSNBC, who he bashes all the time, wanted to sit down for an interview with him, he would do it in a heartbeat. You fucking know that.
I don't know.
That's the type of guy that he is. Any opportunity he has to sit down and talk about himself, he's going to take it. That's the president that we have.
Someone needs to put a leash in his
just
ass.
Like his daily coronavirus briefings. What were those? They were campaign speeches. Are you fucking kidding me? And then any time that any member of the media would ask a valid question about coronavirus, he would lash out at him. Like the one guy, like the president really could have redeemed himself. I can't remember who the guy was. I think he worked for MSNBC. But he said, "What words of encouragement do you have for the American people who may be scared right now?" And he says, "What I would tell them is you're a bad reporter." He could have redeemed himself so much right there. All he had to say was, "We'll get through this together." That's all President Obama would have said. That's all President Bush would have said, is "We'll get through this together." That's all you need to tell the people.
I really think that if Obama was still president, that it wouldn't be this bad. I really do believe that.
Well, all you gotta do is look at the numbers for the pandemics during his presidency. Ebola, we had 11 cases in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And 7 of those were foreigners that were traveling here, and the others were people who worked in healthcare who came in close contact with them.
They had bird flu and swine flu and all that came up.
I don't think that was Bush, but swine flu. I mean, there was a lot of cases, but swine flu also wasn't nearly as contagious as this is. The problem is, something happened towards the end of Obama's presidency that really divided us. Everything had to become politicized after that. Every little thing is politicized. You can go on Facebook or Twitter or any social media app and look at a news article for a mass shooting. You've got 1,000 fucking Democrats on there saying, "Oh, must be a Trump supporter," and you've got all the Republicans on there saying, "Oh, must be a Hillary supporter." Just go politicizing a mass shooting, assuming that there's some sort of political motivation behind it, which 9 times out of 10, these domestic terrorists, these mass shooters, don't have any sort of political agenda.
They actually hate the government, don't they?
They're usually just fucked up incels that, just go ahead and shoot up the place for no fucking reason.
Yeah, that guy that bombed the Oklahoma City building, what was it, Timothy McVeigh or something like that?
Yeah, he was just an
He
anarchist.
he was at a fucking art piece. He wasn't doing a political statement. He wanted to kill a bunch of people.
Now, you talk about, 9/11, foreign terrorists coming in here. They had political and religious motivation behind it. You don't have that with these mass shootings in this country, but yet, you go online and that's what you see is people politicizing it, and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
The thing that people don't talk about, too, is that the attack on the World Trade Center wasn't an attack on America. It was an attack that happened on American soil. He targeted the World Trade Center because he didn't like the world, and he didn't like a lot of the people in the world is why that was targeted.
What?
The World Trade Center had dozens of different countries. That's why it was called the World Trade Center. It wasn't all just Americans in there. There's people from all countries in there.
Yeah, but it was an attack. They attacked,
on American soil.
They attacked the World Trade Center because they were trying to hit our economy. That's where...
No, the world. He wanted the world. That's what it was. No. He hated America.
That was an attack on America. They were
and it wasn't the first time he tried it, too. That's what people forget.
They were trying to hit us financially at that point. They figured that would crash the economy.
No. That's stupid, then.
Why is that stupid?
There's one way to crash the American economy.
Coronavirus?
Yep. Let a virus spread. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
China figured it out.
Something I was thinking about the other day, thinking about Trump, and I'm like, think about if this guy had never even run for president, what kind of legacy would he have?
He would have he'd have been a famous person, a famous real estate developer.
Exactly. And, game show host. But I think his legacy would be a hell of a lot different if he
it's tarnished now. He's gonna because
he ruined the Trump name.
A celebrity, they're hit and miss. There's celebrities from the '60s people thought would live on forever, and people don't really know. Like Burt Reynolds and shit like that. Like people we know, but my kids aren't gonna know that much.
Yeah.
But a president is forever.
Oh yeah.
Taft is always going to be known as that fat ass we had in the White House,
Yeah.
And it's always, a president is forever, no matter how brief, no matter how long. It's like Gerald Ford. He's always going to be known as the guy that was never elected, but still became president.
Wait, I thought he won...
No, Gerald Ford was...
He came in when Nixon resigned, and then he won one term after that.
No.
Yeah.
You might want to look it up. I believe that he was never elected. He was appointed as a vice president and never voted on.
He was appointed as vice president because the original vice president had resigned.
No, Jimmy Carter beat him. It went Ford, then Carter.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter beat him when he was running for re-election.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was never elected. He was appointed.
Yes, he was.
When Nixon stepped down, Gerald Ford took over. And he was never, voted on as vice president or anything like that. And then the next thing, Jimmy Carter came in and beat him.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I think, yeah.
I always thought he...
So I thought it went Nixon, Ford, Carter, then Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and then Trump. I think what was before Nixon? Lyndon B. Johnson?
Yeah, and then Kennedy was before that.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Kennedy was a good president until he lost his head. I'm sorry, too soon.
Let's see. During Ford's presidency, blah, blah, blah. Presidency, 74 to 77. That's 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right. Huh. All right.
Yeah, it was. He was the only president ever to be elected.
I thought he finished off a year of Nixon's term and then ran for his own term. I guess I didn't pay enough attention.
No, I think if I remember right, Watergate was just getting turned up around Nixon's re-election, and then he got re-elected.
So,
and then Watergate came out. They did the trials and all that. They tried to put it off.
When was the election? 72?
I would say
because if Ford was elected in 76, took office in 77, so the election would have had to have been in 72.
Yeah.
So Watergate happened in 72, and then it came out 2 years later. Okay. All right. What do you think of this fucking Obamagate shit that Trump keeps talking about?
It's stupid. It is so. It doesn't even matter anymore. It doesn't even matter.
But do you know what Obamagate is?
I don't even know. I turned my brain off.
He coined the term himself.
I turn my brain off when that comes up because I don't even know. I don't even listen to it.
He says that Obama and Biden were spying on him. They had they had put bugs all over Trump Tower, spying on him during the election. And I'm just thinking, neither of those guys were running. I know that Obama had endorsed Hillary at that point, but I just don't see him, stooping to that level. I think Hillary was pretty confident that she had the guy beat.
I think that if he did, and I'm going to say he did. He probably did, but you know why? Because he was meeting with Russian nationals. His buddy that one guy he just let off. He got put in jail for lying about meeting with Russians.
Yeah.
So that's why. That was a national security thing, and probably it came from the FBI or CIA. I don't think Obama was like, hey, why don't we check out this Trump guy? No, it was probably like, hey, Trump's talking to Russian nationals, what should we do? And Obama's like, bug the bastard,
Yeah.
That's what I see. I don't see Obama, because Obama was on his way out.
Yeah, why does he give a shit?
Exactly. It had to be national. I think Obama's above that. I don't know Obama personally.
It's possible that he did it in the name of national security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, he's a president. He's allowed to bug anyone he wants.
But then, just this week, too, a few of... I see people sharing a few of the emails from Hillary that they say, prove without a doubt that Pizzagate is real.
Pizzagate? What is Pizzagate?
You don't know anything about Pizzagate?
No.
Okay. You know about QAnon, right?
QAnon, no.
There's some group of nerds on Reddit that believe that the Clintons, along with their list of people is mainly just politicians and celebrities who have been critical of Trump. But they believe that these politicians and celebrities are running a child sex trafficking ring.
I know
a
what
pizza
it is
shop
now.
in D.C.
I know it. Yeah,
it's so crazy that somebody actually went in and shot up a pizza shop a few years ago. So some of these emails have been floating around this week. It's the first time I've ever actually read any of these emails. And what's crazy is a lot of them are dated between January and April of 2011. So I'm reading these, and there's mentions of pizza and sacrifice, which brought on another recent conspiracy theory. We'll get into that in a little bit. But there's mention of pizza. I think there's hot dogs in there. So that's where they get this thing like pizza means something. I think hot dog means little boy or something like that. I don't remember what their codes are. But I'm reading this, and then I'm looking at the dates on these emails. And then I'm reading these emails again. They're talking about the attack on Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
I think pizza is code for CIA. and hot dog was code for SEAL Team 6.
That's possible.
Yeah.
You
know how long it took me to figure that out?
5 minutes?
15 minutes.
I don't think we need to know that. I don't think that email should be out. That's the thing. Like, stuff
here's
like
the problem.
that don't need to be out.
She was emailing on an unsecured server. That was the whole issue with WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, you're talking about classified information that we don't need to know. You know, you had the president's correspondence dinner the night before the attack on Osama bin Laden.
It was the night of.
The night before.
Oh, was it before?
Yeah. And
he's sitting there cool as fuck too.
Yeah,
just
and
chilling.
Seth Meyers
ordered it.
Seth Meyers from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Is up there making jokes about killing Osama bin Laden. There's Obama just sitting there, cool as can be, man, just thinking to himself, "We're gonna kill that motherfucker tomorrow." You know?
Be like, yeah, keep go keep your jokes.
Yeah. So
I think we need to change the political system to where if we get a good president, we should be able to keep him as long as we can. I really do. It should be based on single terms, not 8, just 4 years.
But then
boom.
You run into a situation where like the Trump loyalists would really try their hardest to keep that guy in office.
He would not have been elected up against Obama.
You don't think?
I don't think so at all.
I don't know, man.
Obama, like, I don't know how history is going to remember him, but as a person lived through it, just the way, I mean, in seeing the way Trump is now, he was a consummate professional. He was always, even when he cut up and messed around a little bit, and everyone said he'd get caught smoking or something, or he'd go get cheeseburgers, like, to make him seem real.
Yeah.
He was still constantly professional. Like, I can never remember a time, even when Obama was getting attacked by the press and whatever, you know, I never heard him call someone a bad reporter or, what a horrible question,
yeah,
you know?
He was very professional, but I think, one of the biggest problems with Obama, and it's why we have so many issues today in politics, is Obama really, he took the Democratic Party really far left, and he has allowed, people like Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, Bernie Sanders, people like that, AOC, whatever her fucking name is, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, people like that who are even further left to come out and really become kind of the face of the party. And honestly, you have the Democratic Party getting even further left. You have the Republican Party now with Trump getting even farther right. And even if we continue this back and forth of, Republican, Democrat, you're still not going to have that balance that we used to have when we were doing that, when, the Republicans and Democrats were both more centrist that kind of lean to the right or kind of lean to the left. You know what I'm saying?
I think we should bring back the original election rules. When the original, like when Washington and a couple guys after him ran, it was two people running against each other, whoever lost was the vice president.
Is that how they did that?
That's how they did that until Benjamin Franklin was like, it screwed over Aaron Burr.
Yeah.
And then the first time he screwed over Aaron Burr, that was it.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, Burr, you don't get the vice presidency. You just ran against me and all that.
Who do you think Biden's going to pick for his running mate? I'm really surprised he hasn't announced it yet.
You know what? I don't know. I think he wants someone, but they're like reluctant to do it. I think that's what it is. I think that he has a person in mind. He's like, look, I want you to do it with me. Like, come on, Jack, let's do it. And they're just like, I don't know, man.
He's been pretty adamant about getting a woman as his running mate. I think that's a bad move in just picking a woman just because she's a woman.
Yeah.
If you pick somebody that I think would work as vice president, perfect. But if he's going after just any woman that'll say yes, that's going to be an issue.
He's like a guy at closing time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I
and there's a real possibility that woman will become president during his term.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't know.
I think he knows that too.
Yeah,
I think he knows that. I think he knows he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. But I don't agree with the idea of just picking a woman. Just pick a woman. John McCain did that, and it really backfired. I mean, sure, Sarah Palin's nice to look at. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman. But as far as politics go, you know, being the governor of Alaska is a pretty fucking easy job.
Yeah.
You've got this massive state with very few people. You know, your job is easy as shit. All right, it's probably one of the easiest jobs in the world. Going from that to being vice president, that's a big jump.
Well, you see, we can say that, but honestly, she was in Washington for years, so she was around it and saw it. So she has big political...
But she didn't have the experience, the hands-on experience dealing with it.
I think...
had she have been a senator or a governor of a different state with a little more experience in, you know, what goes on in Washington, then she may have been a better choice. But as things stood at that time, she was not a good choice for vice presidency. And
but honestly, the vice president really don't do much. I don't know.
The vice president does a lot.
Oh, they're tiebreaker. They're in House of Representatives.
They're in charge of. They're in charge of environmental issues.
I think they just advise. I don't think the vice president is just.
I
think vice president is just a backup.
Vice president does a lot.
I'm sure they're allowed to do things, but if the president tells you no, you listen to them.
They have assignments. They have jobs that are handed to them from the president.
Yeah.
You know, like Pence is in charge of the handling the coronavirus.
I thought Kushner was.
He was in charge.
Oh no, he's in charge of the Middle East.
And he was in charge of reopening the country. Yeah.
Yeah, which he did a great job.
Who the fuck is this Kushner guy? Like, I'd never heard of him until a few months ago. Who is he?
Trump's son-in-law.
Trump's son-in-law. Ivanka's husband? I didn't even know she was married.
Yeah. Kushner.
What does he do, though? Just some random dude?
He's like an ambassador, like an advisor appointed.
Was he like, what was he, like
I'm sure
up at one of the Trump hotels?
I'm sure he went to college, because Ivanka, she's not going to pick just some random dude. You know, I'd like to think she'd try to marry close to her status. You know, because it's all a club, you know.
Yeah.
They're not going to marry someone out of the club.
I don't know.
So I'd like to think that he went to a good school, or, you know.
Yeah, so let's get off of the Trump bullshit for now. There's more here. I mentioned the Hillary emails. And I said that sacrifice was a word that was in there a little bit, which brought on something else. So apparently, according to conspiracy theorists, there is a video on the dark web of Hillary ripping a little girl's face off and doing some sort of satanic sacrifice. They're saying that they found this video originally on Anthony Weiner's laptop, and it was just labeled Frazzledrip.
What?
Yeah. Have you heard about that?
I have not, but I don't need to hear it because it's ridiculous.
Right? It's... I don't...
There's one thing I know about
starts.
Satanists. Satanists are really about not hurting children, not hurting people, and like the Satanists, like the Satanic Church. If you actually like,
well, you're talking about LaVeyan Satanists. I actually personally know the grandson of Anton LaVey, who founded the Satanic Church in San Francisco. Yeah. I'm sure there's... Because those Satanists, they don't actually even worship the devil. It's just a symbolic thing.
Yeah.
You know, they're the opposite of Christians. They don't really believe in a God. They believe in worshiping a person's own ego. So, yeah, they wouldn't do anything like that. But I'm sure there's some sick fucking cults out there that are into that kind of shit.
People are just so fucked up when it comes to... Religion is so... The thing I never understood about Satan was, in Bible stories, Satan is like, I don't like the way God's running shit. I want to take over and run things my way.
Yeah.
And he lost the war of the angels.
Yeah.
So he got cast down to hell. But why would he punish someone that had his own beliefs? You know what I mean? Like, why would he punish and torment those souls that had his beliefs? Wouldn't he embrace them? Like, hey, you don't like God? Hey, me neither. Welcome to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing I never understood. It doesn't seem to me like he would punish those people. It seems to me like he'd accept them. Unless he also believed in good like God and didn't like bad people. But then before, who punished the bad? You know, it's like, it's all really messed. Like, if you actually try to make sense of the Bible, it really just fucks with your head.
Yeah. So I went and did some digging. And I hate going on the dark web, but I did. I went on the dark web searching for this Frazzledrip video. It doesn't exist. It's not out there. Hillary Clinton is not ripping the faces off of children. And you know, they're saying, and I dug deep on this one too. They're saying that supposedly Hillary is supposed to go to trial on, I think her trial is supposed to start September 9th. For child sex trafficking. And of course there's rumors out there that she's either dead or in prison right now. All of that's untrue. She has no trial coming up. Nothing like that. She's still alive. I'm pretty sure she's tweeting. She's been on Twitter.
Well, you got a social manager do that.
But yeah, she's still alive. She's not in jail.
What would her benefit be? I believe that Hillary Clinton has a shit ton of money from just being a president, writing books, public appearances. She don't need to be involved in that stuff. Well, you know, like, that's what I don't understand. You're putting all these people involved in sex trafficking, but why? Why would she be involved in sex trafficking when she has the millions of dollars from what she's done in her life? The
theory is that, you know, they're all pedophiles anyways, so they're pretty much just selling these children to each other. You know, it's like Wayfair. Why does Wayfair need to be selling children? Well,
exactly.
They don't. They don't. You know, these cabinets they were selling were massive cabinets. You see the dimensions on these things?
Yeah.
I mean, one of these cabinets would take up like a quarter of this fucking room. Like,
and those are for rich people, like those big ass walk-in closets.
Yeah, they're like one of a kind, handcrafted. Of course, they're that expensive, and like they even did some fact checking on the names of the cabinets because they're saying, oh, they correspond with the names of missing children. Only one of them was still an active missing child case.
You know what we should do? I have a buddy named Joe that he's really into conspiracy theory. He thinks like vaccines have chips in them, and like he's a flat earther and shit. We need to do like a freaking interview with that guy. Have him call in. So I tell you what, that would be entertaining as shit because he believes such the wackest things. And the only reason why I'm still friends with him is because I love hearing it. Like, it's crazy.
You know, I used to do a conspiracy theory show, and you know, I like to investigate before I form an opinion. I want to see all sides of things. It's like I was obsessed with 9/11 for years. I just investigated every possible angle and came to the conclusion that the official story that they gave us is the official story. There's no possible way that it was anything else. Bush had nothing to do with it. Yeah, it was not an inside job. You know,
you can't fake that on live TV. It was live. People watched that live.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then you have the people.
CGI was not that advanced back then in 2001 for them to do that.
And then you have the people that say, oh well, the planes were digitally added in by the TV stations.
It was
actually a missile. Like, I've talked to people who were there that day. I've talked to people who were covered in ash walking around Times Square, or walking around Manhattan that day because they were just 2 or 3 blocks away when those towers collapsed. I've talked to people. They said there was no missile. They watched planes fucking hit those buildings.
And why can't they just accept the fact that somebody actually did something that horrible and pulled one over on us and actually pulled it off?
What's funny, though, is the people that believe there was an inside job are the same people that think that Muslims hate us and all Muslims are bad.
No, Muslim,
come on.
Pure Muslim
one way
people,
or the other. Come on.
Pure Muslim people are non-violent. There are radical Muslims, just like there's radical Christians.
Radical Jews, too.
Exactly.
I can't say that. They'll cancel me. I don't
no, there are.
I don't want to end up like Nick Cannon.
Every religion has a radical sect. Radical Catholics. What was that? The ones in Ireland, the IRA. They were Catholics.
Yeah.
Does that mean all Catholics are terrorists in the IRA? No.
But what
your
I'm saying,
religious beliefs and your actions are two different things.
There's people that believe that all Muslims are bad, and like who's that Congresswoman? Ilhan Omar.
Oh, the one who wears her hijab and everyone's all pissed off about it?
She's fucking hot, isn't she?
I don't know. I go by hair.
She's a good-looking chick.
But if someone wearing a hijab bothers you that much, how come you can't be labeled as a bigot? Like, that's bigotry.
You are a bigot, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it's socially acceptable. Yeah. It's whatever the popular opinion is at the time. That's what defines racism. That's what defines bigotry.
But the thing is, this belief that all Muslims are bad. It's not the popular opinion anymore.
I got a couple Muslim friends down the Keys, and they were the nicest people. Even in Campbell, there's a little. I guess it's really considered Youngstown, state of Youngstown, little place, and like, I never once thought of driving by there, and be like, what the fuck are those guys up to? I know what they're up to. Praying to Mecca. That's what they're up to.
Yep.
Muslims. It takes a lot of discipline to be a Muslim. Like, you can't drink. There's a lot of shit you can't do.
Yeah.
Drugs, anything like that.
So, our boys in Trapt were...
not again.
They're making headlines again this week.
Headstrong
bastards. All of the online webzines decided to let the world know... all of them wanted to let the world know that Trapt's new album that dropped a week ago only sold 600 copies in its first week.
I didn't even know that there was an album.
It's funny because Chris Taylor Brown, the lead singer of Trapt, was on Twitter saying that their new album is going to do better in its first week than Katy Perry's upcoming new album.
Bullshit. Katy Perry could fart in a napkin and sell for $5, and it would do better.
Yeah, we'll see when Katy Perry's new album drops in a month. I see if it sells 599 copies. And then, of course,
biggest mistake of her life was shooting me down. Biggest mistake. You'll regret that one day, Katy. It could have been mine.
I regret not asking her out years and years and years ago when I saw her. When she was still known as Katie Hudson, I saw her play at a dive bar in Pittsburgh, and I didn't shoot my shot then. I should have.
I shot my shot in the Keys. I was fucking drunk on Di Serono. Me and my buddy had fucking drank Di Serono all goddamn day. Like, it was stupid. Straight too. Didn't even mix it. We're just taking shots of it. Because we were like, fuck, it's Di Serono. It's like 20, fuck, we are screwed up.
So, of course, Chris Taylor Brown responds to all of this news of their album only selling 600 copies. And he says, that's fake news. We sold way more than that.
There were 604.
I don't think SoundScan would screw up that bad. If so, then I don't believe that Michael Jackson and the Eagles have the best-selling albums of all time. Come on. They're not going to screw up like that.
See, the thing that sucks is, like, him running his mouth has fucked over all those guys. Because what if it's a good album? What if it's, like, a really good album, but people are like,
bet it's
fuck
not.
it? Oh, it's not? I don't know. You're the music guy.
I haven't listened to it, but no, it's probably not. Their last two albums were very disappointing. So.
I mean, I haven't heard shit on radio like, oh, there's a new single from Trapt, you know?
Yeah.
They had Headstrong. Did they have any other song, or Headstrong was their song?
They had 3 moderately successful songs off of that first album. Still Frame was the other one, and then Echo was kind of a ballady sort of song. Had Michelle Trachtenberg in the video.
What was the chorus on it? Do I know it, or I probably don't know
Probably not.
Yeah.
You probably don't know either of those songs. I think the Still Frame might have been like in a Tony Hawk game or something. I don't remember.
I probably would have heard it then. But yeah, every time Headstrong comes on, I look at it like I start laughing. I'm like, crazy bastard.
And in other music news this week, the Insane Clown Posse.
Mm-hmm.
They took to social media to rally the Juggalos into giving a beatdown to Dahvie Vanity. You ever heard of Dahvie Vanity?
You know, I saw that, and I'm like, who the fuck is Dahvie Vanity? Where do I find him? I mean, who is Dahvie Vanity?
He's in Apopka, Florida right now. I do know that. Dahvie Vanity is the founder and frontman of Blood on the Dance Floor. I haven't really said much about what's been going on with Dahvie. So I've known the guy for a very long time. Shared the stage with those guys countless times. All I'm going to say is the guy is a grade A piece of human garbage. Like he
might be talented as fuck, but goddamn, is he a piece of shit off that stage?
He is a talented guy. He is. I will give him that. That's what caught my attention about them early on. But he's screwed over a lot of people. He was actually living in Lakewood, which is a Cleveland suburb, a few years back, and some friends of mine got screwed over hardcore by him. He's a bad guy, and I guess Chris Hansen, the pedophile guy, the pedophile hunter. I said pedophile guy, and I'm thinking people are gonna think I'm calling the guy a pedophile. He's a pedophile hunter. He's the dog, the bounty hunter of pedophiles. He had that show. What was it?
To Catch a Predator.
To Catch a Predator. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Where basically he would set these people up and catch them in the act. And
so what are you doing here?
So I guess he made a big statement late last year that he has his eyes set on going after Dahvie Vanity, and he's been talking to people, victims and other people and stuff, just getting as much info out of them as he can, and this just a few days ago, I guess he has a show on YouTube called Have a Seat with Chris Hansen.
Have a seat.
And he actually interviewed ICP, which I gotta tell you, I know those guys too. I've talked to them. We've hung out. They're pretty cool.
I'm not even jealous at all.
They can be crazy at times, but they're pretty cool, chill dudes. Watching that interview was kind of awkward. I don't know if it was.
Were they in full makeup?
Oh yeah, but you could tell something was off with them, and to me it seemed like either they were nervous, because it's sensitive subject matter, Plus, they
were like,
admitted on the
fuck, they
show.
found out.
They admitted on the show like they're huge fans of Chris Hansen. They even named one of their songs "To Catch a Predator" after his show. So either they were like kind of nervous about something, or they were just trying too hard not to drop foul language.
That was probably it. Because YouTube,
I'm leaning more towards the latter.
I'm thinking because YouTube's gotten really strict lately.
Well, plus Chris Hansen, his show was somewhat family friendly,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an awkward interview to watch, but I think they kind of conveyed a pretty positive message with it, and it's stop diddling kids, assholes.
Mm.
So basically, Dahvie Vanity has been accused for years of, molesting, raping underage girls, grooming underage girls, and so Chris Hansen's going after him now. He moved back to Florida. I know he's in Apopka, but basically, ICP said, "Hey, juggalos, go after this motherfucker. Let's get him. Give him a beatdown." So, inspired by ICP's social media posts about Dahvie Vanity, the band Dope, who I also know, they're big with the juggalos as well. They're a metal band. They decided to go after their former guitar player, Trapt, who was fired from Dope many years ago because of his drug use, and they believed he was molesting young girls. So after he was fired from Dope, he went and played with Static X for a while until he was arrested for several counts of raping underage girls. So he did his time in prison. He comes out, and of course nobody wants anything to do with him because the guy's a fucking pedophile.
Well, is he a pedophile or was it teenage girls?
Well, they were teenage girls, but they were like right there on the cusp, And he's got a new band together now. So, anyways, Static X recently put out a new album. They took it was leftover stuff that Wayne Static had before he died, and the original members of the band, finished the songs. And, of course, some of the songs had parts that were written by Trapt. They gave him writing credit, so, of course, he's going to get writing royalties.
Mm-hmm.
So he's throwing a fit that, he's not a part of this, this whole Static X, I forget what the hell the name of the album is, Resurgence or something like that. So he's like pissed that he's not a part of this. And, of course, Edsel Dope, the lead singer of Dope, took to social media, lashing out because of Trapt comments, and basically said Wayne hated you. He wouldn't want you to be a part of this, and also stop using Dope and Static X to try to sell your new band. And included in there, hey juggalos, go after this guy too.
The Juggalo Army. See, that's the thing. There's people you wouldn't believe. Like, I used to really be, like, we were a kid, like, I used to really like ICP. I thought it was hilarious. It was entertaining as shit.
Those are my boys, man. Like, I'm not a juggalo, but I have always been down with the clown.
I enjoy Big Girls of Fago and telling people to fuck off.
There's actually a Wikipedia page of celebrities who consider themselves juggalos.
Shit.
Coolio and Charlie Sheen are both on that list, which doesn't surprise me. So yeah, there's a lot of that going on. And then you have Nick Cannon, who I mentioned a little bit ago.
OMG.
Nick Cannon, this fucking guy.
What did he do now?
What did he do now? You didn't hear about this shit?
No.
So Nick Cannon was on a podcast, and he basically said, white people were animals and savages, and something about Jews not really being Jewish enough, and he's been sued been fired from Viacom now. So that means no more Wildin' Out.
What a dumbass!
Yeah.
Like, if you're a celebrity, you should just shut the fuck up. All right, you don't live in the real world. You don't get to comment on real world shit. Okay? You don't. Just stop.
Well, what do you think of black people defending him?
You know what? I can understand the anger black people have for white people. I can understand it completely. But there comes a point where you got to be like, man, why can't it be half our fault too? Like, you gotta be intelligent enough to look around and see all these successful African American people in our society and be like,
okay,
well, how did they do it?
So are they are they taking his side just because he's black, or are they taking his side because they agree with him?
I think it could be a little of both. I think it's a little bit of both. I think right now there's like a hard race line where they're like, we gotta support each other, but you gotta be smart too. You can't just go out saying kill Whitey. You can't do that. You can't go and you don't want to cross Jewish people, because Jewish people might be white, but they're still a minority. They know slavery too. You can't just sit around and say Jewish people are all just because they're white.
Jewish people aren't that white. Go to Israel and find me a white Jewish person.
Yeah, they are now, but the Jewish people they think of. But that's what I'm saying. Jewish people, they fucking built the goddamn pyramids out of slave labor. They weren't out in the field picking shit and playing songs. They built fucking pyramids and died. Hundreds of them would die during a day, Dude, a fucking rock would fall and kill 20 of them. So they were slaves too. If anyone can bitch about slavery, it's really Jewish people.
Look, yeah, you say whatever you want about white people. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't fucking care. I'm not gonna, someone says Black Lives Matter, I'm not gonna be like, all lives matter. Say whatever the fuck you want about white people. If you're mad, that your ancestors were enslaved, be mad that your ancestors were enslaved. Say whatever the fuck you want about white people. I don't give a shit.
Every race.
Anti-Semitic comments, in this day and age, the post-World War II world that we live in, you can't do that. You can't. You can't say shit about Jews, man. It's just not.
You really should. Every race.
And I'm not saying that because I'm part Jewish.
Yeah, every race has dabbled in slavery. White people enslaved other white people all the time in ancient England and shit.
The term redneck was originally started out as a slur for Irish slaves, because Irish people were fair skinned, so the slaves working out in the hot sun all day, the back of their neck would get red. They called them rednecks. Now it's a proud, backwards ass person.
Yeah, every race, even Native Americans, everyone, and they enslaved their own people. There's always been a hierarchy of people. Even now, there's a hierarchy of people. If you don't think so, look at our quote-unquote heroes that were working out during the pandemic.
Yeah,
they were mostly minimum wage workers. We really leaned on all those quote-unquote heroes and essential workers during the whole pandemic.
Recently discovering my royal ancestry. My ancestors enslaved probably millions of people over the course of 700-800 years.
But you know
maybe
what?
Maybe longer.
I've never enslaved anyone, well, except for my children. I enslaved 4 little white people all the time. My children. That parenting is a form of slavery. When you tell your kid to go get you something from the fridge and they say no, you get mad at them and threaten to ground them unless they do it, that's a form of slavery. It's like, it's always happened throughout all of history. As a whole world, there's still slavery goes on right now.
Oh yeah.
Over in China,
slavery.
I don't know if you have it on your topic list, but it just reminded me. Over in China, someone flew a drone and they're putting Muslims in concentration camps.
Oh yeah.
And they are hardly talking about that anywhere in the news right now, because they don't want to piss off China.
Yeah.
China's over there trying to start World War III, trying to copy the Nazis and shit. So I don't understand why the race relations in America has gotten so bad, where we're focused on that when there's a lot of worse shit going around the world.
Because we dwell on the past here. That's America's biggest problem.
We never look forward.
Like, look at the people throwing a fit about trying to get rid of the Confederate flag. Okay, and they're not even trying to say you can't fly a flag on your own property. They're saying, look, we don't want flags flown on government properties, government buildings. We don't want statues to Confederate leaders. You can still fly your little,
stars and bars, baby.
Yeah, you can still fly your little treason flag on your own property if you want. We're not telling you can't do that.
Because that's part of freedom of speech. You can't tell people not to. That's part of their freedom of expression.
But that's all, like, the fact that people still want to fly the Confederate flag shows that America spends way too much fucking time dwelling on the past. Okay, the Civil War happened. Okay, it was shitty, basically, states wanted to decide on their own if they could have slaves because the southern states wanted to keep their slaves. That's what it was. States' rights. That's what the racists will tell you. Even though it was states' rights to own slaves. It happened. It was a shitty reason that it happened. Other countries go to civil war for badass reasons. Look at us. Slaves.
And we abolished it.
We need to...
It's been a slow process.
I'm not saying...
but
I'm not going to say, forget about it. But let's move on. Let's stop worrying about the past, start worrying about the future. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back.
We'll be back.
Stay tuned. We just had to end abruptly because Ed almost pooped his pants.
Oh my god, I did.
So what's up with this? Did Rey Mysterio really lose an eye tonight?
You know what? Don't spoil it for me because I'm watching it with my kid tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see.
Dude.
No, I do know that they CGI'd it. It's whoever the stipulation of the match was eye for an eye. What happened was a few weeks ago, Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins got into it, and he jammed his eye on the corner of the steel steps, and they broke a blood capsule to make it look like he actually got an eye injury, and they've been kayfabing it up. But
so he didn't really lose an eye?
No, of course not. No,
that's what it's saying, man.
Well, if you just ruined it for me, he's the one who lost. They CGI'd it, and it's an angle they're gonna do because they did an eye for an eye match.
CGI to me.
I don't know, man. I know damn well the Brave Show dude. He's not going to lose a fight. That guy's a legend. He's not going to. They're not going to do that. Wrestling is entertainment. It's staged. I know that. I so appreciate it, but it's fake. It was CGI'd because they were talking about it on all the wrestling things I follow.
So he didn't really lose an eye?
No, in real life, no.
But he did really lose to Seth Rollins, right?
I don't know. I didn't see the match results. I'm going to watch him.
He lost to Seth Rollins.
Yeah, thanks for in it for me.
You're welcome.
I figured Seth Rollins was going to win because what they're going to try to do, his son Dominic is coming in now, so they're trying to put Dominic in a big angle against someone big when he finally becomes a full-time wrestler. Yeah. That's what he's going to try to get revenge for his father.
I don't even know who any of these guys are, by the way.
You know who Rey Mysterio is.
No, I've never heard of him.
Little guy with the lucha mask, 619?
No.
Oh my gosh. You really don't.
So what do you think about they found this squirrel in Colorado with the bubonic plague? What? I guess that's not uncommon, though. All these news stories are hitting about some cases over in Asia, but I guess it's not that uncommon. I guess where is it? Inner Mongolia, they found 5 human cases, but I guess that's normal.
Well, I do
bubonic
know
plague is something we have a cure for, though.
the bubonic plague was carried by rodents.
Yeah.
So I can see, how they would find it. It probably is common. Don't you get vaccinated against plague or
Bubonic plague? I don't know if there's a vaccine for it, but I know there's a cure for it.
I thought we just got over it. I thought we survived it, and everyone who survived it. I don't know. I don't remember.
Bubonic plague was a long time ago. Yeah, you're talking
That was in fucking
Middle Ages, man. So Mary Trump's book dropped last week.
Yeah, it did. Holy cow!
A lot of bombshells in there, man.
Yeah,
I'm actually trying. I'm trying to get her on the show.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I have emailed a few times with her publicist, so we're trying to get her on the show. That would probably be the biggest interview of my career at this point.
Oh yeah, that would be huge.
I think. Yeah, probably. Somebody was sharing something earlier that reminded me of the one and only interview that I've never aired.
What's that?
I guess Michael Graves, who was the replacement singer for Glenn Danzig when he left the Misfits, he was posting support for white supremacists on his Instagram.
Ugh.
Yeah. And of course, how can you be in the punk rock community and be a white supremacist? But he is.
Oh, punk rock?
Yeah. So.
Metal. I could see it, but punk rock no.
So yeah. Well, of course you can see it in metal. You got Pantera. Those guys were huge white supremacists.
Oh yeah.
You got Phil Anselmo out there at a show a few years back shouting white power.
Yeah. Anytime you think of like a white supremacist party, like you think there's a bunch of heavy metal and
There's
shit.
probably Pantera.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Michael Graves was posting some white supremacist shit, and I was like, oh man, yeah, I interviewed that guy years ago, and he was just so fucking out there with some of his shit, man. Like talking about, basically spewing QAnon bullshit before QAnon was even a thing, and talking about how corrupt American politics is, and Alex Jones is our savior, and he's exposing all of it, and yeah, there was just so much bullshit there that I'm like, I can't air this.
If you're an adult and you don't think politics are crooked, then you didn't pay attention growing up. Everyone knows politics are crooked. It's not really a thing. It's a giant game that they have to play.
Yeah. So. Anyway, so this Mary Trump book, basically she says that using the N-word was a very common thing for her growing up with her family. And, of course, Donald and his father used the N-word a lot of anti-Semitic comments. And, of course, we already knew... What was the father's name? Fred Trump? Right?
I want to agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, I guess, we all knew he was a member of the KKK. He was once arrested at a Klan rally. Yeah, I want to read that book, definitely, especially if I'm going to be interviewing her.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that 90% of white people have heard the N-word at family gatherings during. Yeah. It's not. You always have that one racist person that rants and says racist things. It just does. The only way racism gets cured is generational.
It was
every generation is less.
It was the thing for a long time. Racism was a popular thing for a very long time. A lot of people grew up with
racism has always been a popular thing.
And then, finally it started clicking with a lot of people when they were young, like, hey, what's going on here with my family isn't right. And that's when we kind of started moving away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's gotten us to where we are. But then you still have the people out there who haven't figured out that, it's not right,
Racism has been popular since we discovered other races.
Yeah.
It's always been. It's tribal. What it is it's tribal. Because there isn't a different race. I hate the term race because it's the human race. A race is a whole new creature. We're all humans. We just have different skin color. That's the only difference. Is the way we evolved to the region that we were from. That is the only difference.
Have you ever watched Mythbusters?
Didn't that one guy just get busted for something?
What one?
Or no, the guy just died from Mythbusters.
Yeah, Grant Imahara died.
That's what it was. I'm sorry. Every time I hear a celebrity, I always assume they're busted for something. Yeah,
didn't it recently come out though that the one guy from Mythbusters, like his sister or something, accused him of raping her or something when they were kids?
Dude, I don't know that
or
one.
Touching her or something. I can't remember. It was not the guy that wore the beret, the other guy, the guy with the goatee.
Yeah,
the red-haired dude.
Yeah, but it was the Asian dudes you're talking about.
Yeah, Grant Imahara died. 49 years old, man. Aneurysm. I gotta tell you, that's a scary thing.
It is.
Unless you go and get an MRI done, you don't know you have it. And that thing, you could have it for like 10 years not know it, and just one day it fucking bursts. You could have it for a couple days, and it bursts. And it can happen at any age, man. I think that's the scariest thing. A guy I know, someone he works with, like a year ago or something, 37, 38, something like that, keeled over at work one day, aneurysm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's scary because it could happen at any time. You just don't know it, man. You're gone. The original drummer for REM had an aneurysm pop in his head on stage. I think they were in like Germany or something. And he walked off stage, actually ended up making it to the hospital in time and survived. Most people, it's instant death. Crazy.
A lot of times happens in people's sleep. I think when they're sleeping is when it kills them. But I get headaches and I get paranoid. I look up on aneurysms and stuff.
Oh, chronic migraines is a sign. Yeah.
And they say that when it bursts, you hear like a giant crack in your head.
Oh yeah.
Like you hear it, and they say if you ever hear that, you call an ambulance immediately.
Yeah.
And they say you can't survive. It takes, I think they said up to like 20 minutes or half an hour to bleed to death inside if an aneurysm breaks.
That's what happened to my oldest son's grandmother, his mother's mother. She was getting ready to paint something in the basement, so she was down in the basement mixing paint cans, just keeled over. I was supposed to take the kids swimming over there that day, and my ex, she couldn't get a hold of her mom, so she was like, don't go over there yet. So she left work to go over there and check on her mom, and found her in the basement.
Yeah, you never know, man.
Yeah. But yeah, Grant Imahara, 49 years old. Have you watched Mythbusters? That was a good fucking show, man.
I've seen it sparingly. I wasn't like a Mythbusters fan.
Oh, that was a great show, man. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. Great show. So Trump has another musical artist that is going after him for unauthorized usage of their music. Linkin Park. And this is not the only Linkin Park thing that's going on right now. So yeah, Linkin Park, Trump was using their song In the End in a campaign video that was posted on Twitter. The video has since been deleted because the band issued a cease and desist order. So yeah, we could add Linkin Park to the list of artists.
Once again, I thought you had to clear it with the band before you who are these idiots?
But he doesn't. Well, people working for him are not clearing things. Yeah.
Like you work for one of the most 50-50 persons of all time. So you know that there's a 50-50 chance that whoever you use is not going to like them.
Yeah.
And this isn't the first time, like
you
said.
You would think, like, by now, they would say, hey, let's start using exclusively Ted Nugent and Kid Rock songs.
Yeah.
Because they seem to like us. Let's start using their music exclusively.
Or have them make music for it, you know? I don't...
Yeah.
First of all, who the fuck uses Linkin Park in a political ad?
I don't know. But
usually
of course,
you do, like, soft elevator music
that
or
brings
something.
us to the QAnon bullshit. So I've been seeing it floating around. People are trying to say that Chester Bennington never knew his dad. Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park, never knew his dad, and they're speculating that John Podesta is his dad. And they're sharing a side-by-side photo saying that they look alike and shit. A whole bunch of
Who is John
Pizzagate
Podesta?
bullshit. He was I don't know who he is. I keep hearing the name. I know he's the guy that Hillary was emailing.
Oh.
Who is he, though? Let's look that up.
Let's look it up. Run your Jeopardy thing.
I don't know where it's at. Hold on.
John Podesta.
There it is. It's my generic Jeopardy music. That's the most generic Jeopardy music ever.
He's an old guy.
Well, yeah, he is an old guy.
Political consultant who served as White House Chief of Staff to Bill Clinton from 98 to 2001.
Okay, there you go. So, they're saying that he is Chester Bennington's dad, and they're also saying, and this one's been going around for a while, and it's been debunked thousands of times. They're saying Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell, who died a few months apart, in the same manner. They were both hanged. They're saying that
He's in Pizzagate.
yeah, Podesta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was the one that Hillary was emailing. Anyways, so they're saying that Cornell and Bennington were working on a documentary exposing pedophiles in Hollywood. It's been debunked. They were not working on a documentary. They were not involved in that sort of thing. I know Chester had he had some sort of charity for children who were victims of sexual abuse, but other than that, he wasn't all that involved in. He wasn't pulling a Corey Feldman. Okay, if somebody's going to get offed for coming out with a documentary exposing Hollywood pedophiles, it would be Corey Feldman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and two, if you're gonna kill two high-profile people like Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, just a few months apart, wouldn't you have them dying in different manners? The same thing with the belt on the doorknob. Okay, Chester and Chris were very good friends. Chester was very depressed after Chris Cornell killed himself, and he hung himself in the same way on Chris Cornell's birthday.
What a tribute. I'm going to kill myself the way my friend killed himself.
Yeah. But, anybody that doesn't... I get... We don't want our heroes to die. We definitely don't want them to kill themselves. That's why people come up with this crazy shit about Courtney Love killing Kurt Cobain. Okay? We don't want our heroes to die. We definitely don't want them to kill themselves. So, I get that people were coming up with this shit, but if you don't think that those guys killed themselves, you've obviously never listened to their music.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years before he died, the Linkin Park song "Leave Out All the Rest" was basically a suicide note. It's just insane that people want to come up with shit like this.
The thing is about super creative people is that their mind works different than a normal person. There's a lot of torment in it, It's like Mitch Hedberg. That guy was brilliant. But
I never got into him, but
it's a sad thing that artists they're all fucked up. They've always have been throughout history.
Yeah.
It's like, I worry that my one kid, he's super creative. Like, he's like a better artist at 9 or 8 than I am my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, and it worries me. I'm like, oh my God, there's something wrong with him. Like, he's a great artist. He's very creative, neat, organized, and I'm just waiting for the fucked up part to come out, you know?
Yeah.
And that's sad. But if you have a super talented kid, fucking be observant, because there's some fucked up thing in there that's going to come out with it. It balances out.
Yeah.
No one's super talented with no fuck up in them.
What do you think about what's going on in Portland right now?
What's going on in Portland? Remind me.
You haven't heard about this?
I probably have. I don't.
There's some gentlemen in full camo gear taking...
The white supremacist parade?
No.
Or the Nazi parade?
No.
Oh, okay.
You can basically say they're kidnapping people.
What?
In unmarked vehicles and taking them to interrogate them. Well, there's been rioting going on in Portland for weeks. It's the one city that has the most rioting right now.
I thought Portland is full of hippies.
There's a lot of hipsters there. There are. But yeah, there's a lot of that going on, and they're saying that these are government agents, a secret police force, who are going after people who are defacing these government statues and monuments.
That's possible. See, that I can believe that.
Department of Homeland Security has already come out and said that's what that is. Okay, they're in unmarked vehicles. Fuck you. You take me in an unmarked vehicle and don't identify yourself, I'm going to assume you're kidnapping me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something that should not be going on in America. Okay, I don't agree with the rioting and all that, you know. If you want these statues taken down, let's do it the right way. You know, you shouldn't be defacing them, graffitiing them, yanking them down, whatever they're doing. You shouldn't be doing that. Let's do this the right way. Let's go to our politicians and say, look, you know, this statue of this fucking piece of shit racist, let's bring it down. You know, if you get enough people down there to talk to these politicians, you know, especially if you've got liberal politicians that are on your side, and that's the thing too, is if, you know, if you have an issue with something going on in your community, you can talk to your local politicians, and most of them will talk to you. You know, especially if you have a large group. I know this because I've done this. You know, and this police force that they've got going around, and now they're saying, I can't remember the guy's name, whoever the Secretary of Homeland Security is. He said that they're going to be sending them out to every city where there's civil unrest right now.
I would say that Trump got on and warned them and said, if you are caught defacing public statues, whatnot, it is now a felony and you will be dealt with severely. If you choose to ignore that, then you're breaking the law knowing that they said... The thing is, you don't need to deface any type of public monument because that was your tax dollars. What do you think paid for that?
Yeah.
You know? Do it the right way. Just do a setting around it. Block you from viewing it. Make a giant sign that covers it or something, you know? Don't damage it because that's damaging public property.
Yeah, so they're just going and snatching up random people. Like, if they come around here and try to snatch me up, I don't see why they would.
We don't go anywhere.
I don't get involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, what they're going to go and snatch up the dude in the Versace sunglasses that looks like a surfer? Probably not. They're looking for these Antifa and Black Lives Matter people. If you're a black person, they're probably going to, you know, profile you and come and question you. You know, these Antifa guys that, you know, look like punk rockers or whatever, they're probably going to come after them. You know, they're profiling these people based on what they look like.
I bet you it's more than that. I bet you they looked on their Facebook and shit because the idiots probably put went to facing tonight, lol. You know,
probably
people are so stupid, like on Facebook and shit. Like they put their shit out there.
Yeah, I don't get some of the stuff that people put on Facebook. Like,
there's a girl that I've been friends with a long time. It's actually cousins with one of my best friends, and she put a Facebook Live thing where she's driving down the street, mad that her husband doesn't. She had to leave work because her husband left her kids at home alone for God knows whatever reason. And the guy's a piece of shit. She almost divorced him a few weeks ago, but she's sitting here ranting about how her husband's a piece of shit and she has to work to provide for the family and all that, and he takes all of his money and spends it on drugs and booze and shit like that to get everything. And I'm sitting there like, well, who's the dumbass here? You for putting up with him and letting him do it? Or him?
yeah.
You know, it comes to a point where you gotta be like, I'm fucking stupid. You know? It's like the saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know?
Fool me again, won't get fooled again.
No, apparently you're fucking dumb. You do it.
No, you remember the famous Bush quote?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. It's fucking hilarious. Speaking of Bush, while I look up this Bush quote, so did you see that the president has decided to move the portraits of Clinton and George W. Bush into an unused room in the White House?
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he's offended because they're better presidents than he is. I don't know.
I don't, man.
Hold on a second. Here we go.
And so, in my State of the Union, or my speech to the nation, whatever you want to call it, speech to the nation.
This guy. I miss this guy. I do.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
This is a montage,
And
I guess.
America needs a military where our best and brightest are proud to serve and proud to stay. If you're a single mother with 2 children, which is the toughest job in America as far as I'm concerned, and you're working hard to put food on your family, rarely is the question asked,
well, where is it?
Is our children learning? Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across the country. There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Pizza. I miss that guy.
You know, like, everyone gave Bush a lot of shit for being dumb and dopey and all that.
He was a
But then,
moron.
when 9/11 hit, he really fucking zipped it up.
He did.
And, you know.
But yeah, he was a lovable moron. I mean, our president that we have now is a moron, but he's not a lovable moron.
No.
Speaking of the president being a moron, you were talking about him moving the portraits and shit. There's a lot of Trump stuff this week, man.
I don't get that. You know what we did go over last week was him releasing that Barr guy. We forgot that one.
Barr? Oh, you mean Stone?
Or Stone, yeah.
Yeah. Nobody gives a shit about
like,
that.
Who didn't see that coming?
Yeah, exactly. So, the Goya food products, they endorsed Trump. So, of course, the liberals are on their whole let's boycott Goya thing. Boycott Goya was trending on Twitter this week. So Ivanka, that dumbass broad, posted a picture of her holding a can of, was it garbanzo beans or some shit?
Goya beans, yeah.
Yeah, and basically doing a product endorsement. And then fucking Donald Trump posted a picture of him sitting at his desk in the Oval Office with like all these Goya products spread out with his 2 thumbs up and his goofy fucking smile. Do they not realize that shit's illegal?
It is, and it's illegal. And you were, as a president, you are not allowed to endorse, or any political office, you're not allowed to endorse
a product. Yeah. Even if the company endorses you, say, hey, thank you.
You know, I don't... when they let him get away with that impeachment, you really notice that it's been downhill from there. He was pretty average and chill until now that impeachment went through.
Oh, yeah, now he sees he can get away with
invincible.
everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he thinks double jeopardy works like that, man.
Yeah. He thinks he can't be touched now. You know.
Yeah, and people see it. I mean, we're the only ones that can touch him. Giggity.
Why are his people still saying "Make America Great Again"? The guy's had 3.5 years. He hasn't made it great yet.
One of my friends, she put some about keep America great or something like that.
I haven't been seeing a whole lot of that lately.
They changed Keep America Great, and I put on there. I was like, I thought you were supposed to make America great again. You mean all these riots and all these police killings is what makes America great? She was so pissed. I don't need you doing that. She PM'd me and everything. I'm like,
well, that fucking ad that Trump came out with, with the 911 thing, and it says you won't be safe in Biden's America.
Didn't
Los
Angeles
actual footage of Trump's America? The riots, all of that. That is Trump's America. That is not Biden's America.
It isn't. He's not even there yet. But isn't like LA? Wasn't there like big cities that had that touch tone to help circumvent the 911
There's some
calls?
places that do, yeah.
Yeah.
911 was defunded in a few places, and mostly small places that don't need it.
Yeah.
And then we got Trump endorsing shower heads and light bulbs now, too.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So, in case you guys haven't heard, there's a coronavirus pandemic going on right now. And the president comes out talking about shower heads and light bulbs, and it's really hard to make sense of what he was saying. Something about you turn on the shower and the water doesn't come out.
Oh, that was a while ago. That was when he was talking about the pressures and stuff like the water pressures and water regulators and stuff like that. And then he just went on this weird rant.
This is from 3 days ago.
At Aspen Dental, smile for zero money down with zero worries.
Aspen Dental
Plus
ad.
pay zero interest and paid in full within 18 months.
Maybe I should get like
with your savings and safety secure.
Ad-free YouTube for the show or something.
They make that? The YouTube Premium?
Yeah, there's like an ad-free YouTube.
Gasoline prices, you look today, I think it was $1.99. At the same time, we saved our oil companies. We're now the largest, since we've been here, the largest energy.
By the way, at one
source
point
in the
during
world.
Obama's
Nobody's
presidency,
even
gas
close,
prices were this
so
low
it's
too.
great.
Same
But we saved
with
them.
Bush.
Had a hard time
It's
a
nothing
number
new.
of months ago, and frankly for a long time, but we've saved them. But $1.99 they were telling me, in some cases lower than that. We're bringing back consumer choice in home appliances so that you can buy washers and dryers, shower heads and faucets. So shower heads, you take a shower, the water doesn't come out. You want to wash your hands, the water doesn't come out. So what do? You just stand there longer, or you take a shower longer? Because my hair, I don't know about you, but it has to be perfect.
His hair has to be perfect. Sorry, I don't see it.
His hair's pretty thin.
Dishwashers, you didn't have any water, so the people that do the dishes, you press it, and it goes again, and you do it again and again. So you might as well give them the water because you'll end up using less water. So we made it so dishwashers now have a lot more water, and in many places, in most places of the country, water is not a problem. They don't know what to do with it. It's called rain. They don't have a problem. And old-fashioned incandescent light bulbs.
Here we go, the light
brought
bulbs.
them back.
Okay, they worked really hard to get rid of these incandescent light bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that just took all the fucking energy. Now he's bringing them back. The energy-saving light bulbs have become incredibly affordable, and now he wants to bring back. He's saying.
I still have a box full of the ones you gave me.
Yeah. Those the energy-saving ones have become affordable, and he's talking about the incandescent ones being cheaper than the energy saving ones.
They're like a yellowish.
Okay,
too.
even if you spend the extra money on buying the bulbs, they last longer and they use less energy, so you're going to be paying less in the long run.
Yeah,
but he wants to bring back these energy hogging light bulbs. Doesn't make any fucking sense. This fucking guy.
I think what he was trying to say was that there's water regulations. I know that there's regulations on shower heads where there has to be where you can't have a full blast of water. There's like a condenser to make it go through, but that actually increases water pressure. And I think what he's saying is that he's lifting a lot of the restrictions on new dishwashers. Because there's like a reservoir that shoots out through. It doesn't pump it fresh. There's a reservoir.
Either way, these aren't important issues
matter.
during a fucking
Exactly.
pandemic.
It doesn't matter. You fucking hand wash your dishes. Who do you know has a dishwasher? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of people do, but I don't.
I have a dishwasher.
You know? Yeah, I know. She's upstairs in her room watching TV right now.
That was a joke. Actually, I do about 50% of the dishwashing.
Yeah, and you guys, just you and the baby. You guys, and the baby, it's easy. Yeah. I do 100% of my dishwashing at home. I do all the dishes. It sucks.
So, out of curiosity, where do you stand on gun control?
You know what? Very interesting you asked me that because I learned something. Browser on Reddit last night. Gun control is okay to an extent. I think assault rifles and stuff like that, crazy people shouldn't have it. I think I go with the crazy people licensing and all that. I did read a thing where after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, they asked Japanese generals, why didn't you guys just wiped out all their shit? Why didn't you keep going to California and just invade? You guys there was no defense. You'd have got there just fine. And they said the reason why is because America's hunters are the largest army in the world. And then they started breaking out statistics. Like, if you take all the registered hunters in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Kentucky, you consider them an army, an armed force, they'd be the largest armed army in the world. So that's why. So I think it's important for our populace to keep other countries out, which I don't see how they would come in, and for defense. I don't think crazy people should have guns. I don't think crazy people
that's
should
where
have
I'm
guns.
at too. I don't think crazy people should have guns. Like, okay, for the longest time, when I was like 14, I got my first gun. It was a .22 rifle. I went target shooting with it, but I always had the mentality like, if I ever need to hunt, this is what I'm going to hunt with. If I ever need to hunt for survival, if we ever get to that point. And then when I turned 21, I got it was a .22 handgun revolver, and I had those guns for a long time. I would practice target shooting, whatever. Those guns have been sitting in a gun safe, untouched for 13 years now. 13 years now. Yeah, I haven't touched them. So back in January, I was like, I had a handgun for protection, rifle in case I ever needed to hunt. I never needed either of them. So I was like, fuck it. I don't need them. I'm going to sell them. So I ended up selling them. But I like having the option, that if I ever needed a gun, I could get one. But at the same time, I think there does need to be regulations. If someone has a high-powered gun like an AK-47 or an AR-15, obviously they should have proper training on how to handle them. They should definitely have some sort of license, and they should, not be someone who has a criminal history, and definitely no psychological problems, right?
I think you should have to take a psychological evaluation.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You don't want crazy people owning guns.
But the thing is a crazy person, if they're going to get their hands on one, just like how weed's illegal, but everybody has weed. You know, coke's illegal, but you can get coke pretty easy.
Yeah.
If guns become illegal, you're going to be able to get guns pretty easy.
Probably easier than you can get them now.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a really hard thing to regulate. Guns are in our culture. You can't get out of it. We're a gun culture. But just like I learned from that, it really does. It deters a lot of shit from happening. A lot of mass shootings probably got deterred because they're like, well, fuck, if I do it here, I'm gonna get. You know what I mean?
Really
most of those mass shooters are suicidal. They're gonna go.
Most of them don't want to be taken alive. Well, you know,
exactly.
People, you know, a lot of the Black Lives Matter people, you know, like they'll bring up, for an example, that Dylan Roof, who shot up that church. Mm-hmm. You know, they're like, well, you know, why was this guy taken alive? Why did they take him to get Burger King? Well, you know, the simple answer is it's a police tactic. You know, if you give well, obviously, like a mass shooter, okay, they want to take them alive because they want to study the psychology of them. You know, some guy robbing a bank, you know, they don't care. They know why they got to rob the bank. They don't care if they take them alive or not. You know, these mass shooters, they want to study the psychology of what they're doing. Same with serial killers. You know, how were they able to take Ted Bundy alive? They should have shot the guy on sight. Well, they wanted to study the psychology of it.
Plus, I don't think he put much of a fight when they arrested him.
Well, no, these guys, that's the thing, is these guys want the notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't put up a fight, a lot of them.
Speaking of people, remember last year that old retired CIA guy that when a guy came in a church, shot the guy in the chest with a shotgun, he pulled out his gun and shot him right in the head?
Yeah.
That's what you need. You need people with guns to protect you from bad people with guns. That's the thing.
But that's not a common thing.
No, it's not common at all. But I mean, that situation right there, that guy could have turned the shotgun on parishioner and started shooting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people, you know?
Yeah.
If there would have been,
right.
If someone would have been armed during other thing, you know, what was that club, the gay club in
Pulse nightclub in Orlando? Yeah.
What if someone there would have had a gun, or the bouncer had a gun? You know, it would have been ended quicker. It's one of those things
there's some situations where it would make sense, and there have been cases. There have been some cases where, you know, the whole good guy with the gun has protected people from the bad guy with the gun, but it's not an incredibly common thing. It doesn't happen all the time.
No. There's really not as much guns. Like, people don't carry handguns. Like, if they do now, that's recently they had with the open carry laws and all that.
Yeah.
And I really think that open carry law really deters a lot of people from robbing stores and robbing people and stuff like that. Because if you're in a state like Florida, you got to think, well, what am I going to fucking rob this guy for $20, $30? And people don't even carry cash that much anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, why would I risk my life? Like, that's what you hope. It kind of deters a little bit. But crazy people that want to do damage are always going to find a way. It's either going to be a gun or a knife or a homemade bomb. Or, you know, crazy people that want to kill a bunch of people are going to kill a bunch of people. You can't stop 100% of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks to say that, but it's true. You're not going to stop someone from doing it if they really want to do it.
Yeah.
You can deter it and try to do things to help keep the numbers down, but it's going to happen. Have we had a mass shooting this year?
There definitely hasn't been one in a while. I think these lockdowns have kind of made it difficult for that to happen.
We're going to get locked down again pretty soon, so that should help out.
Yeah, I saw an interview with DeWine where he was kind of hinting that may be coming soon.
Well, tomorrow is when Walmart is mandating mandatory masks for everybody, no matter what.
How you think that's going to go?
Oh, I want to go down. I want to go to Boardman. You should. I don't know if you'll do it. Go to the Warren one and just sit there with your cell phone in that front row and wait. Just wait.
I have better things to do with my
happen.
time. I really do.
I want to. Lauren won't let me. She told me no. She said, because you're going to be there egging it on. I know you. I was like, yeah, you're right. It's going to be a shit show for the first week.
Obviously.
And there's going to be people...
Well, there's going to be people that are just going to go down there just to, throw a temper tantrum.
And get... Yeah. And I don't understand. It's a piece of cloth.
Headshot.
It's a piece of cloth. It protects you and me. It protects everybody. Just do it,
Yeah.
I don't understand the big deal. Like, well, I can't breathe. Well, then too bad. Order your shit online. You don't need to go into a store.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to wear a mask in a store, then I bet you if you were like, hey, I don't want to wear a mask, I can't breathe. Well, they say, okay, give us a list. We'll get shit for you. If you don't know what you need and you go to a store, then you're just going there to kill time. You're not there to shop. You're just going there to kill time.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't. Like, when we got on the way home tonight, we went to Walgreens because Lauren needed chocolate. And my kid had to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, let's go to the bathroom. And he knew. He was like, oh, I need my mask to go in. Hand me my mask. We keep him in a little thing in the middle.
Yeah.
And, like, he's what? 7.
Wait, you don't know how old your kid is?
I got 4 of them. I had to figure out which one.
I know how old all mine are.
Yeah, yours are spaced apart. He's 7.
Not all of them.
And he already knows that if you go in a public place, you need a mask.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother him at all. And he's 7. He's not used... Kids aren't used to being masked. They're used to being free.
Well, they're going to have to get used to it when school's open.
And they're going to because they're kids. And kids will adapt quickly because they're always looking ahead. Their life isn't about looking behind. Their life is always about looking ahead. You hit about 25, 30, that's when you start looking back.
Yeah.
If you keep your youth and momentum, change will happen like that.
Did you see... It came out this week that there were several places where they were miscounting the number of COVID cases they had. Did you see that?
You know what? Ever since last week, when Trump's office cut the CDC out, I don't believe a goddamn number coming out of there.
Well,
Russia already
these
stole.
are old numbers.
Oh, old numbers?
Yeah.
What do you mean they miscounted? Like they counted too much or too little?
Too much. Yeah. What I don't get is the fucking people blaming the media for it. It's not the media that fucked up the counting. Okay, people blame the media for shit. And here's the thing. Okay, and I'm gonna relay a story from when I was a newsman at an AM radio station.
Newsman. Brandyn Newsman.
So I was doing a story. There had been a murder like 2 weeks before this, and they caught the guy. The alleged murderer, I should say. So I gave the story, and immediately after the story was done, the alleged murderer's sister called and threw a fit, saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. None of that's the truth, blah, blah, blah." Just going off on a rant. And I had to explain to her, this story came from the official police reports, from both the murder and the arrest, official eyewitness accounts. In the media, we report what's given to us. It's not like in SNL writers meeting where we're sitting around brainstorming news stories. We report on what is given to us from research. We have researchers. There's people that go out and do the research. They give it to us. We write the news stories, and they get reported. There's a whole chain of command in newsrooms, They're not like TV show writers. They're just sitting around trying to come up with interesting news stories. They're not telling you bullshit lies. And the reason we have freedom of the press in this country is because they help to keep the government in check. if the government's doing something behind your back that they shouldn't be doing, we need to expose them for that. Look at Woodward and Bernstein. Probably the two biggest legends with that. And their confidential informant, Deep Throat, Giggity.
Giggity.
And you have Walter Cronkite, probably the greatest TV journalist of all time. These are people who broke big stories. If the government was doing something they weren't supposed to do, they informed you. They're still doing this. MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, when they report a story that, about something stupid that the president did, it's because the president did something stupid. They aren't making shit up just for entertainment. Sure, they want ratings. They all want ratings because that's how they keep their advertisers. That's how they keep paying their anchors the big bucks. But they're also giving you the news. You have some of these talking heads out there that speculate and give you opinion-based news. Guys like Bill O'Reilly.
He's done. Cavuto.
Is he?
Was that Cavuto guy? Yeah.
Cavuto? Who's Cavuto?
Isn't that Cavuto? Something like that?
Well, who's the one guy on CNN that's very opinionated? Is that Wolf Blitzer?
Yeah, Wolf Blitzer, yeah.
Those guys throw in some opinions, but they're still giving you a lot of facts in there as well. It's just a little bit of spin on the facts.
If you're watching a show and there's not a dude at the desk with like different cuts and I don't know, you got to be able to tell news. I want to use the word propaganda. Those news talk shows like that, it's propaganda. That's
some of it. They're still giving you the news, but it's their own. They're throwing in their opinions in there too.
Slant, yeah. They're making it seem like it's different.
But at least Fox News right now too is really criticizing the president.
Yeah, even they're like, you know what?
Well,
yeah, I mean, we just heard
Trump's got his own news channel now. What that OAN?
The Onion?
No.
Oh.
You would think. No, OAN. It's supposed to be the official American news source. I'm pretty sure he owns that news channel too, and all they do is praise Trump 24/7.
I don't know. There's so much because of the internet and the way everything works now. The world's a lot smaller when it comes to information. So you got to really take a lot of information with a grain of salt. Most intelligent people could be like, research a little bit more. It's hard, If you're getting your news from like Facebook and talk shows and shit like that, it's like you said, it's some news and then the rest opinion. It's based on a true story, basically.
All right, it's OANN. It's One America News Network. Here's the Wikipedia page for it. It's a far-right cable channel founded by Robert Herring Sr. and owned by Herring Networks, Inc. It's been around for a while. I never heard of it until recently. It was launched on July 4th, 2013. The network is headquartered in San Diego, California, and operates news bureaus in Washington, D.C. and New York City. So it's been around a while. Trump doesn't own it. I thought he did.
I bet you they're in bed with him. No, I bet you they're all friends and they're like, dude, endorse
probably.
it. We'll make money. I'll give you a
Tommy
kickback.
Lauren's on there. Okay.
It's all...
Steve Bannon has a show on there? Sarah Palin has a show? Yeah.
Yeah, it's money.
It's just... Yeah, they just suck President Trump's dick all the time. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, One America News Network.
Every time someone sucks that guy's dick, they have to sign an NDA, so we shouldn't be hearing about it.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like, Trump has sat there and been like, you know what, American people are stupid. I'm going to show you guys. Look how stupid they are. And that's how I feel. And I feel that everyone that blindly follows him are stupid because they can't see it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a girl that's in a relationship with a fucking loser that loves him and doesn't fucking see the signs, you know? It's like, are you fucking stupid? You're still in love with this guy after he's fucking cheated on you and call you a dumb bitch and a whore in public and takes from you and all that?
Well,
but I love him. He loves me. He's gonna make our relationship great again.
As I said before, you know, there's been some times during his presidency where I could defend some of the things he did, and I've also criticized some of the things he did. But since coronavirus started, I can't think of a single thing he's done right. It's just been nonstop digging himself a hole.
I wonder if that hydroxychloroquine stuff he takes really fucks with him.
He's not taking that. Stop. All right, well, we got to wrap things up. We've officially launched our merch store. You could find it at Teespring. It's teespring.com/stores/planet-chaos. I just posted the link on the Planet Chaos Facebook page, so you can find it there with some of the merch we have available. There's going to be plenty more merch coming soon. Right now, we just got various things with the basic logo. We got a bunch of different styles of shirt, like t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, sweaters. We got stickers. We've got cell phone cases for iPhones and Samsungs. We got fanny packs. We even got masks, tote bags, stickers. We got throw pillow and beach towels. All kinds of cool stuff on the merch store. So go ahead and head on over there and get yourself some Planet Chaos merch. Again, it's teespring.com/store/planet-chaos. In case you don't know by now, you can find us on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, TuneIn, Listen Notes, Pod Paradise, and YouTube. You can email the show at any time. It's planetchaosradio@gmail.com. Instagram and YouTube, it's @PlanetChaosRadio. Twitter is @PlanetChaos_. You can find me on Instagram. It's Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. It's Brandyn_chaos. Tumblr is Brandyn-chaos. That's all we got for you guys this week. So we will catch you guys again later. Goodbye.
And we'll continue to smoke, but I don't really know what you got to roll. Hoping that you pull out some fire arsenal. Got my own lighter, you know I can match a bowl. Hoping that you're waiting with a joint after the show. Mr. Weed Man, don't do me wrong. Come on, Mr. Weed Man, help me sing my song. Mr. Weed Man, won't you fill my bong? Mr. Weed Man, I need some relaxation. Mr. Weed Man, don't do me wrong. Like Bob Marley, I'ma smoke it till my brain is gone. Mr. Weed Man, don't you roll with rock? Mr. Weed Man, I need that medication, but I don't really know what you got to roll. Hoping that you pull out some fire arsenal. Got my own lighter, you know I can match a bowl. Hoping that you're waiting with the joint after the show. Everybody solo! I don't really know what you got to roll. Hoping that you pull out some fire arsenal. Got my own lighter, you know I can match a bowl. Hoping that there are no bubbles breaking our windows, but I don't really know what you got to roll. Hoping that you pull out some fire arsenal. Got my own lighter, you know I can match a bowl. Hoping that you're waiting with a joint after the show.